You know the parable. It's witty, it's insightful, it's old. Give a man a fish, he's fed for the day. Teach him how to fish, he's fed for a lifetime. And of course it's all true. Oh, but wait, it's not really true. Not entirely. The free meal and the job training are very nice thoughts and quite helpful to a point, but frustrating and proven ultimately to be ineffective in all 215 of our world countries in every generation. Why? The parable sounds so good. And the food and the job training, what's wrong with that? Why doesn't it work? Why doesn't it work anywhere? Because we've never lived in a generation until now where we can rewrite the parable and add the third and conclusive part for all who are willing to pursue their potential. Give a man a fish, he's fed for the day. Teach him how to fish, he's fed for a lifetime. Unless he doesn't have a fishing pole or bait. Oops. But then, until the last 5 years or so on this planet, there was no good way to make sure every man, woman, and child have a fishing pole. Help him to have the tools to fish, and then, if he cares, he's fed for a lifetime. Prior to the last 5 years, education and jobs and relationships, research, money, inspiration, connections, these things could not be effectively acquired by those who do not already have these things. A little history. The Industrial Revolution and its new factories and capabilities 150 years ago brought amazing changes. But it was a CapEx structure, and by its nature it gave very uneven rewards. Wealth and power landed upon a mere 5%. To the next 50% came mediocrity with a ceiling, and the structure of the Industrial Revolution gave the remaining 45% a ridiculous boat anchor to carry of isolation, heavy labor, or unemployment, and the generational limitations of dumbed-down education, boredom, and social barriers. The game was rigged in favor of a minority few who were privileged or lucky, or the few who beat the system. It was just the nature of the Industrial Revolution. But now, if we will seize the opportunity decisively, we can take that boat anchor and toss it deep into the sea. Today truly is a new opportunity. This is the information revolution, the knowledge, the wisdom revolution. Today already 40% of all new ideas come from very unheralded, unrecognized corners of the earth, rather than the previous generations of 98% control by wealthy corporations and individuals with absurd entry barriers to the rest of us. We now live in a golden era that we've been waiting for thousands of years. Let's not waste it. Now, for the first time in human history, we have a chance to embrace the full potential of every man, every woman, every child, and every neighborhood, every social strata, every economic strata. And we'll need all the help we can get with the staggering challenges ahead for resources and population density and energy and environment. Today, education, relationships, connections, research, inspiration, these things can be available to every single aspiring human if give a man a fish, he's fed for the day. Teach him how to fish, he's fed for a lifetime. Unless he doesn't have a fishing pole or bait. Help him have the tools to fish, and then, if he cares, he's fed for a lifetime. For a minimal investment into our communities, those who govern us, along with those who control our internet and power, along with philanthropic hearts, these can combine their efforts to build our communities by providing free Gigabit Wi-Fi to all of the local residents with family incomes below 50% of the median income. We can provide the programs and the training and the entitlements, feed and train our most vulnerable, and also give them the fishing pole of Gigabit Wi-Fi provided for free without subscription cost to provide for themselves and their families and their neighbors. Everyone wins. The government will be paid back with less crime, fewer necessary entitlements, more income, better morale, and more re-electable candidates. The backbone providers will ultimately gain subscribers in geographic and demographic areas that would have remained impossible, and the intellectual wealth of every depressed neighborhood will be set free as long as there is no more wait at the library or shame in the classroom for unfinished or poorly done homework because of lack of internet opportunity. The best teachers on the planet will be in every home that want them via Khan Academy, Harvard, MIT, Coursera, great courses, and many others. Jobs will be created, companies birthed, returning citizens, veterans, and the homeless will be able to sell goods and services. Virtual house calls and healthcare will be possible in homes. Parking revenue will be doubled. Traffic congestion cut decisively. Water and air quality monitored. Power and water preserved via smart grids. Crime will be diminished, and so much more. Can we? Will we? Who will stand up, and who would even want to stand in the way? Give a man a fish, he's fed for the day. Teach him how to fish, he's fed for a lifetime, unless he doesn't have a fishing pole or bait. Help him to have the tools to fish, and then, if he cares, he's fed for a lifetime. As of this date in 2016, never has a people's government and their commercial and economic structures provided the tools for lives to change and generations of vulnerable and underserved communities to be transformed. The tools didn't even exist. We're not talking about free video games or free movies for all, but free education and free job search and job creation and infinite access to communication to the vulnerable and the underserved, but only to those below the 50% mark of median income. I was discussing all of this with the director of the Harvard Graduate School and International Programs. We dialogued about free gigabit Wi-Fi for returning citizens and the vulnerable in urban areas and worldwide. We discussed gigabit Wi-Fi 100 times as fast as typical household connections, perhaps on a platform of LED streetlights, adding smart city sensors for water and air monitoring, power savings, traffic control, crime reduction, medical and emergency services, partnerships with Harvard, Khan Academy, Coursera, MIT, and others. She described this as, quote, a new space, the intersection between real estate and economic development, technology, community development, and social justice. A new space. A major survey was done within a societal cross-section of 25-year-olds, following them all the way to age 65. Of those 25-year-olds, of course, many of them strutting and full of hope and expectations, by age 65, only 1 out of 100 is wealthy. Only 4 out of 100 are secure in any way financially. 5 out of 100 are still working at age 65. Out of 125-year-olds by age 65, more than 55 out of the 100 are totally broke. Feed them a fish at age 25, they're fed for a day. Give them a job or a program, they're fed for another day or two. Give them fish and teach them to fish, and the fishing pole of world-class educational opportunities at Harvard or MIT or Khan Academy. Give them relationships, give them connections, give them job opportunities. And then, as has been true for centuries, education equals freedom. It's time to weaponize the facts. We aren't talking about adding an amenity of Wi-Fi to an apartment building. We're talking about transforming many, many square miles of underserved communities in urban areas and in world communities with gigabit Wi-Fi, changing the homes and the schools of urban cities and even remote world villages using lossless laser radio technology to propagate even 10 gigabit Wi-Fi up to 10 kilometers without fiber optic cable. There's no longer the necessity in our era of digging up roads and laying fiber optic cable. The obstacles are gone. Without vision, the people perish. Can we use this first time in human history opportunity together now to combine the efficiencies, the cost savings, and the revenue generation of the smart city with the Internet of Everything technology to also catapult our next generation and the underserved, and therefore catapult our world into new successes beyond our imaginations? Let's do this together. It'll be a little bit of sacrifice on everyone's part, but let's have vision for 25% of the human population and give them a chance by giving them a fishing pole. Let's do this.